Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So potentially we do know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of course is making plans for the summer. Of course he's emphasising his targets as well, and we do potentially know that Manchester United have been in a bad vein of form. We've only won 2 of our last 10 games in all competitions as well, and it's looking likely we have missed out on that top 4, and we are going to be in the Europa League next season as well. So I think it's going to be extremely difficult for us now to attract players to the highest level as well, because we have been linked with the likes of Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund, Koulibaly from Napoli as well, but players at that calibre, want to be in Champions League football as well. So I don't think we're not going to be in Champions League football for next season, so it's going to be hard for us to attract players to that elite level as well. But maybe some people are saying we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, because potentially there's quite a few players out there for a reasonable figure as well, as we all do currently know. But reportedly Solskjaer is going to get a spending spree of around £250 million this summer. As I did say, he wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad. We are expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out as well. I think up to at least 6 players could leave Manchester United this summer as well. But potentially with at least 3, 4, 5 years off from being that competitive elite level football club as we was under Alex Ferguson as well. But potentially based on our bad vein of form, the majority of the blame is on the players. You've got to question the mentality of the players. They've got to take responsibility as well. Some of the blame does stem from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because some of his tactics are questionable, to be quite honest with you. But we've got to be ruthless in this summer transfer window. Of course, we've got to rebuild. You can potentially see the deficiencies in the squad as well. And let's be honest, our recruitment policy is very, very poor indeed. We do know, obviously, the club is still looking to hire a director of football to come in as well, because as I did say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need backing. Obviously, we need a director of football to come in as well, to change the structure of the club and all that. And there has been quite a few candidate names mentioned. We need to recommend someone, to come in, who understands the club and all that. And recent reports have been mentioning Rio Ferdinand. He's an ex-Manchester United player, as you all know. I think he served 12 years as a player for Manchester United, won about 14 trophies. I think he made about 455 appearances for the club when he was a current player. So it said Ferdinand has been in negotiations with Ed Woodward over the possibility of becoming our first sporting director reportedly. So there has been talks about that as well, and there's been quite a few other candidate names mentioned. We do know there's been talks of Paul Mitchell, who's currently head of recruitment RP Leipzig at the moment. I think RP Leipzig are keen on getting him a new contract with them until 2025. He's obviously used to be head of recruitment at Tottenham and Southampton, where he did work alongside Mauricio Pochettino, Paul Mitchell as well, but born and bred in Manchester. I heard reports the other day saying that Mike Phelan is in line to become our first technical director as well. I have been hearing news, there has been a lot of news going on about Edwin van der Sar, so there's been a lot of news circulating about Edwin van der Sar saying that he could fulfill that director's role at Manchester United. I think he's currently the CEO at Ajax at the moment, is Edwin van der Sar, but obviously was a good goalkeeper for Manchester United, served 6 years at Manchester United as well. So there has been quite a few candidate names mentioned as well in the process. But Solskjaer, as I did say, is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, of course, because let's be honest, none of this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. Even though when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did manage the Manchester United reserve team, he watched some of this team at this day and age, grow and develop and all that. But none of this team is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, of course, because obviously, there's 11 of Jose Mourinho's players here that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's inheriting. There's still some players here from Louis van Gaal. There's still, Juan Mata here from the David Moyes era, and there's still about 4 or 5 players here from the Alex Ferguson era as well. So he's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United squad. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. But reportedly, he's going to get a spending spree of around £250 million as well. And I still believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think he can still take Manchester United forward, to be quite honest. I still think he can elevate this club forward, based on our bad vein of form. I know he hasn't got the experience, he hasn't got a great managerial pedigree, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I'm still backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I just don't know what's gone wrong, to be quite honest. It just seems to, since he's got the job permanently, it's just seemed to have all gone wrong, to be quite honest, because reflecting back when he was the interim manager of the club in his first 3 months, everything was going well, the performances were good, the results were really, really good, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, exceeded expectations as well. And you may get a few Manchester United fans, now they may be on his back and stuff. You know, they may be on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's back, and maybe some people say maybe we should have waited till the summer, you know, to give him the contract, and maybe we have given Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, the job too soon as well, because he's got a 3-year deal, and his expectation levels will be in this 3 years, of course, is to get Manchester United back up there, challenging and winning trophies, of course, as well. But as I did say, you know, we need to bring at least 5 new additions to the club this summer, maybe even 6 new additions to the club this summer as well. There's still some contract renewals to sort out as well. But for me, the squad from back to front is potentially, you know, not good enough, you know, to be quite honest with you. And we're at least 2 or 3 years off, you know, graduating to Manchester City's level as well. And this is why, you know, we've got to get the right players to Manchester United this summer. But as I did say, it's going to be extremely difficult to do that, you know, considering that we're not going to be in the Champions League for next season as well. So potentially, as I did say, we do know basically, you know, that the club are expected, you know, to orchestrate a big summer clear out as well, and potentially, you know, we've got 2 games remaining now, as we all know. Potentially, as I did give you the update yesterday in relation to David De Gea, you know, I've heard quite a few Manchester United fans saying that maybe, you know, De Gea, you know, should be dropped, you know, for these 2 remaining games. You know, he's been making quite a lot of mistakes recently as David De Gea, but, you know, I still admire his career, you know, so far with Manchester United. You know, he's been a great servant to the club so far. This is De Gea's 8th season now at Manchester United. He's still potentially, you know, the best goalkeeper in the world, but potentially now people are saying, you know, we should drop him and, you know, put Sergio Romero into contention for these 2 remaining games. But the question is Sergio Romero reliable enough, you know, to become our #1 goalkeeper? And to be fair, reflecting in them cup games, you know, when Romero was in goal for Manchester United, you know, he performed really, really well, you know, to be quite honest with you as well. But maybe for these 2 remaining games, maybe we should drop the problematic players, and, you know, maybe we should give the youngsters the opportunity as well. But De Gea's been a good servant to the club, as I said, and I don't know what's going on with him at the moment. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got any intentions of dropping him, you know, to be quite honest with you, but I don't know what's going on with him so far. Is it something to do with the contract issue? Doesn't he want to be at Manchester United anymore? You know, recent reports have said that he's attracting interest from PSG, and reportedly PSG are willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands, reportedly that's what he's demanded off Manchester United, and his current deal at the moment is on about £200,000 a week. Is David De Gea. Last year, Manchester United activated a 12-month extension, of course, so he's still under contract here until the summer of 2020. But he's won everything here domestically. He's David De Gea. He's been here since the Ferguson era. You know, he's won the club's Player of the Year 4 times out of the last 5 seasons as well. So potentially, he's still potentially, you know, one of the best goalkeepers in the world is David De Gea. And, you know, Real Madrid have obviously, you know, been long admirers of him. Obviously, you know, Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him back in 2015 as well. But Manchester United have been in talks of getting him a new contract, but we have not yet come to an agreement, you know, to get David De Gea a new contract as yet. But he has been unbelievable, you know, for the club as well. So maybe some people are saying, you know, we should drop him and give Sergio Romero the opportunity as well. But if David De Gea is to leave, obviously we do know that the club, you know, would want to cash in for him this summer, you know, rather than let him go on a 3-year the summer after as well. So if we can't come to an agreement to get him a new contract, obviously, you know, we'll be forced to cash in for David De Gea this summer as well. But we have emphasised a couple of targets, you know, that could potentially, you know, replace him. You know, there has been talks of Atletico Madrid, you know, Jan Oblak as well. I think it did say Man United are reportedly willing to trigger his release clause. I think his release clause is around 100 million, is it, or something like that, in his deal with Atletico Madrid. So potentially, you know, there has been talks about that as well going on in the media. Also in the past, you know, there has been talks of Everton's Jordan Pickford as well. He's been at Everton a couple of seasons now. I think Everton paid around £25 million for him from Sunderland as well. His performances in the World Cup last summer were really, really good with England. He's nowhere near the same calibre or level as David De Gea, is Jordan Pickford, but he's still a very, very good goalkeeper indeed. But I think we were linked to Jordan Pickford last summer. I think there was a lot of talks about Jordan Pickford, was it last year or something like that as well. But yeah, I think he could cost us around £60 million or something like that as well. So I don't know if David De Gea is going to be staying at the club, to be quite honest with you. But we have been in, you know, negotiations getting him a new contract as well. So potentially, as we do all know, you know, one player that's guaranteed to leave Manchester United this summer, of course, and that's obviously, you know, Antonio Valencia, of course. Obviously, he's been a good servant to the club. You know, this is 10th season now at Manchester United as well. But obviously, we do know that the club opted against the decision, you know, to give him that new 1-year extension as well. So Valencia is on his way out this summer. This is Valencia, as I did say, this is Valencia's now 10th season at Manchester United. Of course, I think he's made all 300 appearances in all competitions, but he can't even get in the team now. Of course, I think he's still out at the moment with a calf injury as well, so he's going to be leaving when his contract expires in the summer. I do also want Ashley Young, you know, to leave Manchester United as well in the summer. I think it was bad business from the club, you know, giving him that new 1-year extension. When I did say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, some of his tactics are questionable, you know, he's still playing Ashley Young, and I don't really understand why he's playing Ashley Young, you know, to be quite honest with but you know we're seeing now element of the performances, you know, that we did see under Jose Mourinho as well. Even on the Chelsea game, you know, the first half was very, very good, but the second half, you know, was dreadful, you know, to be quite honest. But Young, for me, is the problem, you know. He needs to be dropped as Young. He needs to go in the summer as well. And he's been a good servant to United, you know. This is 8th season at the club. He's made all 300 appearances in all competitions, and he was good back in the day, you know, when he was a winger. Ashley Young is now 33. He's nearly 34, and by the time his new 1-year extension expires, you know, he'll be nearly 35 years of age over Ashley Young. And, you know, potentially for me, we should, you know, give Diego Dalot, you know, the opportunity as well. We should play Diego Dalot ahead of Ashley Young, because Diego Dalot is still in the process of developing. You know, he's only 19 years of age, of course, is Diego Dalot. But for me, we still potentially, you know, need a right, you know, we need someone that can, you know, we need a right back, you know, that can back up, you know, for Diego Dalot as well. So potentially, we definitely, you know, need a right back in our team. Potentially, as you all do know, in relation to Paul Pogba now, Paul Pogba, I think he's going to Real Madrid this summer. Is Paul Pogba, because reports were coming out from Spain the other day saying that Paul Pogba has agreed the personal terms. The wages have also been agreed as well. Reportedly, Paul Pogba has agreed around a 10 million a year deal with Real Madrid, and this is where he's intending on going, you know, Paul Pogba, even though there's still quite a lot of news circulating around the media saying that his former club Juventus are interested in re-signing him. But it did say for Juventus, you know, it did say Juventus would have to sanction a couple of their players off, you know, in the process, you know, to be able to fund the move for Paul Pogba as well. Juventus have been in negotiations, I think, with his agent Raiola as well, where, you know, Paul Pogba did have 4 good years, you know, at Juventus, you know, before he came to Manchester United as well. But as I did currently say, yeah, he's intending on going to Real Madrid. I think Manchester United could get around 120, 130 million pounds for Paul Pogba this summer. And potentially, you know, for that price, you know, we could probably get around 2 players for that price as well, because potentially he did do well in the Chelsea game, did Paul Pogba in that first half especially, but prior to the Chelsea game, his last 6-7 games, you know, his performances have been way below par, and that just emphasises that he doesn't want to be at the club, Paul Pogba. And, you know, a player like Paul Pogba, and, you know, a goalkeeper like David De Gea, you know, maybe they want to be up there playing to the highest level, they want to be up there challenging, they want to be up there winning trophies as well, and we're not doing that, and that is the problem, you know, to be quite honest with you. And, you know, Paul Pogba, of course, does want to go to Real Madrid. Zinedine Zidane's a big admirer and the player, you know. Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid about, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago as well, talking about his dream to play for them and all that as well. So I think it's looking likely he is going to Real Madrid, is Paul Pogba this summer. But as I did currently say, you know, Solskjaer's built a great relationship with Paul Pogba, and as I did say early on in the video, when he was managing the Manchester United reserve team, watched some of this team at this day and age, you know, grow and develop, and of course, you know, one of them was Paul Pogba as well. Paul Pogba, he's been one of our most influential players since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer come on, especially, you know, when obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager in his first 3 months, you know, he was getting the best out of Paul Pogba as well. But as I did currently say, I think Manchester United have been in negotiations of getting Paul Pogba a new contract. He's still got over 2 years left on his deal at the club. There is also an option of a further year as well, but I think he's on about £300,000 a week at the moment with Manchester United, is Paul Pogba as well. There was talks quite a while back saying that Man United were willing to offer him the captain's armband, of course, you know, to convince him to stay at the club as well. But Paul Pogba is still one of the best midfielders in world football, you know, when he's playing in the right vein, when he's playing in the right manner. He is one of the best midfielders in world football, is Paul Pogba as well. But for me, at Manchester United, maybe he's not playing around world-class players, and this is what, you know, Paul Pogba is demanding that he wants, you know, to be quite honest with him as well. But potentially Paul Pogba, you know, did get one of his best wishes, you know, of course, when Jose Mourinho, of course, got sacked from the club as well, because Paul Pogba had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho as well. And potentially last year, I think Barcelona were linked with Paul Pogba as well, so it's looking likely he is going to be going to Real Madrid as well. So yeah, we're going to have to now emphasise a couple of targets, you know, that could replace Paul Pogba at the club. We do know it's going to be hard to find someone on Paul Pogba's level. It's going to be really, really difficult indeed to find someone in Paul Pogba's calibre and level. It's going to be extremely difficult indeed. But he did currently say, you know, if we are to sell Paul Pogba this summer, if we are to sell Lukaku also this summer as well, we could reportedly cash in at around £200 million, you know, for Lukaku and Paul Pogba as well, because we paid £89 million for Pogba. You know, he's heading into his 4th season now as a United player. We paid £75 million for Lukaku, plus £15 million in add-ons, which had risen it up to £90 million as well. And, you know, talking about Romelu Lukaku, you know, to be quite fair, his performance in the first half against Chelsea, you know, were really, really good indeed, but he's not reliable enough. And let's be honest, the majority of this Manchester United squad is not reliable enough at the moment as well. But Lukaku, as I did say, is not reliable enough. As I said, you know, he doesn't get enough of them runs in behind. He can perform better, and he can look a bit more effective, you know, when he's getting that support up front, to be quite honest. But for me, he's not good enough to play to the highest level. His pedigree pedigree in the Premier League is very, very good. You know, don't get me wrong, his goal scoring form is very, very good indeed. He's Romelu Lukaku's, and he's enjoyed a difficult second season, you know, with Manchester United, because he scored 27 goals in all competitions in his first season for the club as well. But initially, we do know that Marcus Rashford is first choice ahead of Romelu Lukaku as well. But as I did say, we paid 75 million plus 15 million in add-ons for him, which risen it to £90 million. He's still got 3 years left on his contract. He's on about £250,000 a week with Manchester United as well. He's attracting interest from the likes of Juventus and Inter Milan. Is Romelu Lukaku as well. And I think, you know, he was talking a lot about, you know, the Serie A. You know, he dreams of playing in the Serie A. He said it would be a dream and all that, Lukaku. But I think his preferred destination is to go to Juventus this summer as well. But Manchester United, you know, will be looking to recruit the initial, £75 million, you know, we paid for him from Everton a couple of seasons ago as well. But his pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. I've got reservations about him. His first touch concerns me. He's a big game bottle of as well. So I think his agent did reveal as well. His agents revealed that his future is very, very open indeed. So I can see, you know, Lukaku, you know, leaving Manchester United this summer as well. And obviously, you know, we're going to need a replacement for him as well. So if we can sell Pogba and Lukaku, you know, the duo, we could cash in reportedly around £200 million as well. And I think if we had to sell Pogba, it will help us, you know, with our transition as well. So it's looking likely, definitely, you know, Paul Pogba is going as well. As you all do currently know, Ander Herrera as well. Now, it's disappointing, you know, from my own preference, you know, and a lot of Manchester United fans' preferences, you know, that he's going in the summer to PSG. Because Ander Herrera, you know, let's be honest, he has been one of our most influential players, you know, especially since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, of course. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice midfield trio, of course, is Herrera, Matic and Pogba, who we obviously, you know, went with at the weekend against Chelsea. But obviously, you know, based on, you know, the amount of injuries Manchester United have had, obviously, you know, he's had to rotate that as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. But I do really, really like Ander Herrera, you know, to be quite honest with you. He has had some rough patches, you know, during his tenure as a Manchester United player as Ander Herrera, of course. But I do really, really like him, you know, he breaks up the play very, very well. He's a good ball playing midfielder as well. And he's very reliable, you know, is Ander Herrera, you know, to be quite honest with you as well. He's been a good servant to the club, you know, this is his 5th season now at Manchester United, of course. But he has now agreed a deal with PSG. I think it's a 4-year deal, as I said. He's set to earn around £150,000 a week in Paris, in France, with Paris Saint-Germain as well. But he did currently say that Manchester United, you know, were in talks to get him a new contract, but he allegedly said that he was demanding around £200,000 a week from Manchester United. Reportedly, Manchester United were not willing to meet his £200,000 a week wage demands as well. So potentially, yeah, he's made his decision and he's going to Paris Saint-Germain in the summer. He did actually say as well his former club Atletico Bilbao, you know, were interested in him as well, but it was too late to process because obviously he'd already come to an agreement with Paris Saint-Germain as well. And PSG are obviously going to see him as a replacement for Adrien Rabiot, of course. And obviously, you know, PSG, you know, wanting to get someone in their midfield who can partner alongside Marco Verratti as well. But I think he'll be a good addition in France with PSG. I think he'll do very, very well indeed, because he's done really, really well for Manchester United as well. Manchester United, I think, paid around £29-30 million for him from Atletico Bilbao, you know, back in 2014 as well. But it's a shame to see Ander Herrera go. But we did get one over PSG in the Champions League, but now they've got one over us because obviously, you know, they're getting Ander Herrera as well. But yeah, you know, I can't criticise what he's done. You know, he's been a great servant to the club as well. So we are going to have to emphasise now a couple of possible targets, you know, that could replace Ander Herrera in that midfield as well. Nemanja Matic, for me, you know, not reliable enough again. You know, Nemanja Matic is very, very inconsistent indeed, even though he's a highly experienced midfielder. You know, he's well Premier League proven, but for me, he's not trustworthy, is Nemanja Matic. As I did say, he's too slow. I've got strong reservations about him, you know, Nemanja Matic. In some games, he has stepped up to the plate, you know, and he has performed quite well as Nemanja Matic, but for me, I think he needs to leave Manchester United, you know, this summer, to be quite honest with you as well. He's too slow as Matic, he's too ineffective in that midfield, and, you know, he's just not good enough, you know, in my opinion, just not good enough, you know, to represent Manchester United. Plus he's aging up as well, and potentially I think we need a centre defensive midfielder, of course, that's fast and tenacious. And as I did currently say, you know, Fred for me is, at this moment in time, is a better solution, you know, than Nemanja Matic, because Fred, you know, talking about Fred, I think, you know, Fred, I don't know if he's a long-term solution, but I think he's the right solution at this moment in time, and I would play Fred ahead of Nemanja Matic, to be quite honest, because I know he didn't play against Chelsea, but prior to the Chelsea game, you know, in his last 2 to 3 games, you know, he's really, really stepped up to the plate as Fred, you know, to be quite honest with you as well. But I think we paid around, was it £47 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk last summer as well, you know, Fred. I don't know if it's, as I said, I don't know if it's a long-term solution, but I think it's the right solution at this moment in time as well. And he's probably more mobile and better on the ball, you know, than Nemanja Matic as well as Fred. But yeah, we definitely, need a centre defensive midfielder. Of course, that's fast and tenacious as well. As I did currently say as well, we do need a central defender as well, and we need someone that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line, because as I did say, we haven't had a world class central defender. We haven't had a world class central defender, since we had the likes of Ferdinand and Vidic, who were a good, fantastic centre back partnership, back in the day for Manchester United as well. And we haven't had a world class central defender, since then, to be quite honest with you, because Chris Smalling and Phil Jones, to be quite honest with you, they're both not good enough, to represent Manchester United. This is Chris Smalling's 9th season at the club. I think this is Phil Jones' 8th season now at Manchester United as well, and they are both aging up now, to be quite honest with you, but I think it was a bad mistake, for Manchester United, giving Smalling a new long-term contract, giving Phil Jones a new long-term contract as well. And to be fair to Smalling, he has improved, in some of his games, since he recovered from that long-term absence. But for me, it's Chris Smalling just used there as a backup, to be quite honest with you as well. So I would like to see Smalling and Jones, leave Manchester United this summer. Potentially Bailly, I think his future is in doubt as well. For me, I think Bailly needs to go, to quite honest, he's too injury prone, is Eric Bailly, obviously, suffering an injury. He's just recently recovered from an head injury, Bailly, and then plays in the Chelsea game, and then comes off injured, does Eric Bailly with a knee injury as well. So that's another injury Eric Bailly has sustained, and I do really like him. I think he's got a great potential, Eric Bailly, this is now his 4th season, well, he's heading into his 4th season as a Manchester United player. Manchester United, of course, paid £30 million for him from Villarreal back in 2016 as well, but he's found game time very, very difficult as Eric Bailly, and Solskjaer's preferred the likes of Smalling and Phil Jones and all that as well, but now he has sustained another injury, so I think he's too injury prone, and I think he needs to go in the summer as well. Marcus Rojo, yeah, he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player. I also think he's on his way out as well as Marcus Rojo, because in relation to Marcus Rojo, I think he's coming to an end of his contract soon, hasn't really been given the opportunity, and I think his career, as I did say, has been affected, the amount of injuries he's suffered as a Manchester United player. He just recently, not too long ago, recovered from long-term absence as well. So yeah, I think he needs to go in the summer. Matteo Darmian looking likely he's on his way out the club in the summer as well. This is Matteo Darmian's 4th season now at Manchester United, but he's really, really struggled, to get in the team as Matteo Darmian, as I said, and he struggled to get in the team, and I think Manchester United did trigger that extension, of course, so if we can get rid of him this summer, we can cash in for Matteo Darmian. I think the club paid just over £12 million for him from Torino back in 2015 as well, but he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time, and he just recovered from long-term absence not too long ago as well, so he needs to go in the summer as well. Sanchez, definitely, inconsistent as a Manchester United player, of course, he needs to leave Manchester United this summer as well, does Alexis Sanchez, and Sanchez, for me, currently what he's receiving, it's totally affecting our wage structure in a bad way, because Alexis Sanchez, as I did currently say, he's been inconsistent as a Manchester United player. He's no longer playing to the highest level. He has no future at the club. He has lost that yard of pace as well. And yeah, as I did say, he has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Just recently, recovered from a knee injury as well. But we've got to get rid of him this summer. And it's going to be hard to find a buyer considering his substantial wages he's on. I think he's on about £400,000 a week, is Alexis Sanchez as well. And, maybe not many teams can afford to pay his wages off as well. So I'd like to see Sanchez go in the summer, because he's been very inconsistent as a Manchester United player. It's looking likely Juan Mata is also on his way out as well. Juan Mata, of course, he's no longer playing to the highest level. Just turned 31 years of age as well. Juan Mata no longer playing to the highest level, though, and he has lost that yard of pace as well. Doesn't really get into the team now. I know he played against his former club Chelsea and got his name on the score sheet, which was good to see, but he isn't obviously first choice, and he doesn't really get into the team. And as I did say, he's 31 years of age now. He's Juan Mata. He comes to an end of his contract term at the end of the season, of course. So I think I can see him leaving when his contract term expires this summer as well. But he's been a good servant to the club. This is his 5th season now at Manchester United. He's made over 200 odd appearances in all competitions as well for Manchester United as well. But his pedigree in the Premier League is absolutely fantastic indeed. So there's a lot of players that are going to depart the club. As I currently said, there's going to be a lot of players that are going to be leaving as well. But potentially, there's been a few targets, that Manchester United have been linked with as well, as I did currently say. In that midfield, who would be the right replacement in that midfield? And, I've been hearing rumours about, West Ham's Declan Rice. Reportedly he's valued at around £40-50 million, is Declan Rice. And Declan Rice is a West Ham player, as you all know. His performances this season under Manuel Pellegrini have been very, very impressive indeed, for West Ham. He signed a new contract back in December with West Ham last year, so he's got a new long-term contract now with West Ham until 2024. As I did say, he's valued at around £50 million. He's mainly a defensive midfield. He's 20 years of age. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents as well. He's Declan Rice. But he says Manchester United have been interested in him. So do you think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield, you know, if he was to come indeed? But I think he's been in the West Ham senior squad, you know, quite a few years now as well. So there has been a lot of talks about Declan Rice going on. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents as well. And Solskjaer showed an interest in quite a few young upcoming players as well. But I think West Ham would demand that they want around £50 million if they are willing to do any business for him this summer. And we could see him as a good replacement, you know, for Nemanja Matic, you know, to be quite honest with you as well, because his performances for West Ham have been very, very good this season of Declan Rice's. He's a former Chelsea player. He actually joined Chelsea at the age of 7. He was in Chelsea's youth setup for a number of years. Got axed off at the age of 14 as well. So yeah, I've seen some. I've analysed his performances and they look very, very impressive indeed. There has been also talks going on about, you know, Tanguy Ndombele. I think I've updated you about him a while back as well. Manchester United have also been interested in Tanguy Ndombele. I think he's 21, 22 years of age. He is French. He's very, very young. He's Tanguy Ndombele. Reports have been saying that the Napoli the Lyon president, should I say, the Lyon president has confirmed Manchester United's interest in Tanguy Ndombele. But I think from Lyon's perspective, you know, they'd rather sell him to Juventus reportedly as well. It's also said that Manchester City have also been interested in Tanguy Ndombele, but I think he's valued at around £70 million or something like that as well. But reportedly, he's a very, very good competitive midfielder as well. But I think there were talks about this back in January that Manchester United were linked with Tanguy Ndombele as well. But it has said City are interested. Manchester United are also interested as well. But I think he's valued at around 70 million. But as I said, the Lyon president has confirmed they'd rather actually sell him to Juventus reportedly as well. We do know Manchester United, of course, have been linked with Atletico Madrid's Saul Niguez. You know, there were a lot of talks about him going on about 3 or 4 weeks ago as well. You know, do you think he'd be a good ideal replacement of Fernando Herrera? You know, Saul Niguez, of course, of course, plays Atletico Madrid. I think he spent the entirety of his career in Spain with Atletico Madrid as Saul Niguez. Saul Niguez, I think he's made over 200 appearances for Atletico Madrid. He's 24 years of age. He's versatile. He can play as a defensive mid. He can play as a central mid. He can also play on the right as well. I think he's got a release clause reportedly of around 128 million as Saul Niguez as well. But it has said Manchester United have been linked with him as well. So we have been interested in quite a few midfielders, and we do know Man United are linked with Bruno Fernandes, you know, from Sporting Lisbon. Reports from Portugal, you know, were saying that Manchester United have been in negotiations with Bruno Fernandes' representatives as well. I think he's got a release clause of around 90 million in his deal with Sporting Lisbon. He's a former Sampdoria. He's a former Udinese player as well. But yeah, there's been a lot of talks about Bruno Fernandes, 24 years of age. He's tied up very, very well in Portugal. I think he's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons now as well. So Manchester United have been linked with him. We do know we've been linked with Benfica's João Felix as well. You know, Man United have been scouting, you know, João Felix and Bruno Fernandes as well, because they're both tied up in Portugal very, very well. You know, João Felix is 19 years of age. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. You know, he only broke into the Benfica first team last year as well. So Manchester United have been linked with him as well. And I think he's got a buyout clause of around £100 million as João Felix as well. So there has been a lot of talks about him going on as well. So do you think either Bruno Fernandes or João Felix, you know, would be the right solution for Manchester United? You know, if either of them were to come in, perhaps maybe not both of them, but maybe at least one of them, you know, do you think they'd be the right solution, you know, to come to Manchester United as well? Because I think João Felix is mainly a winner, but he can play in other positions as well. I think Bruno Fernandes is mainly an attacking midfielder as well. So yeah, so we have been linked, you know, with quite a few midfielders as we all currently know. You know, we need a central defender as I said, and potentially, you know, Toby Alderweireld, you know, he could be actually one of our first signings, you know, that comes to Manchester United this summer. Toby Alderweireld is available for a reasonable figure. He's available for £25 million, you know, that's his release clause as well, and he's a much cheaper alternative, you know, to the likes of Koulibaly and the Rafael Varane and all that. He's nowhere near the same level or calibre, but, you know, Toby Alderweireld, I've got reservations about him now, don't get me wrong. You know, he's just recently turned 30 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace as well as Alderweireld, you know, but he's well Premier League proven, and I think he'd be a good upgrade, you know, of already you know, what we've got in defence as well. So I do believe that Toby Alderweireld, you know, would be a good upgrade in our defence, and I think, you know, he did link up very, very well alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline as well. I think he wants to leave Tottenham. He must want to leave Tottenham because he's with refused to sign a new contract with them. Tottenham activated a 12-month extension back in January and included this 25 million release clause as well. Manchester United were linked with Alderweireld last summer, but obviously, we couldn't come to an agreement, to get him last summer as well. And even if Tottenham were willing to let him go, Tottenham have still got other options. They've got Jan Vertonghen and Davinson Sanchez, that can combine in their back line as well. So he's not in the level of, he's not in the same calibre level as the Koulibalys or the Rafael Varans or the Sergio Ramoses or Diego Gordons, the top class elite central defenders. But as I did currently say, Alderweireld, still would be a good upgrade in our defence. And as I did say near the beginning of the video, it's going to be hard for us now to attract players, to the highest level, because obviously we're not going to be in Champions League football for next season. As I did say, Champions League football is always very essential. So in that aspect, you can have more of a competitive summer window. You can get the players you want as well. But it's looking likely we're not going to be in Champions League football for next season as well. And I did say, top four, would, us getting top four and getting into Champions League for next season, would have been a fantastic achievement. Looking at the situation we was in when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first took over, because we was 11 points behind top four. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first took over the club as well. And it's still not impossible. We could still possibly finish in the top four, but I don't think it's going to happen now, to be quite honest. We've had our opportunities, we've missed out on them opportunities as well, and that's the most frustrating part about it, to be quite honest with you as well. For us to get in that top four, we've got to win our 2 remaining games. And, we've got to hope that teams around us, of course, has drop points as well, which I don't think is going to happen. But, yeah, we do know Manchester United, of course, have been linked with a host of players as well. But, we've got to get the right signings this summer, of course, as well. And we do know a lot of money's being spent at the club. We do know since Ferguson retired about £700 million being invested into the club, into the team. We've seen players come in. We've seen players go as well. We've had different managers, with different philosophies and all that. But, the majority of these players, do need a reality check. To be quite honest with you as well. The majority of these players, need a reality check. As I think the likes of Rashford, I don't know what's going on with Rashford at the moment. His performances have been dreadful for the last 2 months now. He's now got a shoulder injury reportedly as Marcus Rashford. He could miss the Huddersfield game, could Marcus Rashford as well. Marcus Rashford, for me, is still in the process of developing. He's only 21 years of age. He's got immense talent. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him as well as Marcus Rashford. He's been in United players since, the age of 7, age of 8, and he's progressed up the ranks fantastically well, and he's been in the senior squad with Manchester United since 2016 or something like that as Marcus Rashford. But as I did currently say, he needs a reality check, does Marcus Rashford, and he hasn't emulated to that level yet. I think it's going to take him at least a couple of years, to emulate to that level, Marcus Rashford. But he has sustained quite a few injuries. He's now just sustained a shoulder injury reportedly. Before that, he has sustained quite a few ankle injuries as well, and I think it's taken its toll on him, and it's had a bad effect on his game, to be quite honest. Because Rashford, when he's playing to his potential best, he can get them runs in behind. He's like lightning and all that, and I still really, really like Marcus Rashford. Don't get me wrong, he's born and bred in Manchester as well. I do know he's been attracting interest from the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid and all that as Marcus Rashford, but I think he wants to remain loyal to Manchester United. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 3-4 years, further down the line. He could maybe go to Madrid or Barcelona, but I do not know, to be quite honest with him as well. Anthony Martial, now I've been very, very disappointed with Martial, because he was in really, really good form earlier on this season, but at least in the last couple of months now, he's really failed to replicate that Anthony Martial, to be quite honest with him as well. I don't know what's going on with him at the moment. I know he didn't play against Chelsea, Martial, and he was on the bench, but he was an unused substitute, to be quite honest with you. But, his performances have been really, really bad indeed, Anthony Martial. He's 23, he's still got a lot of years ahead of him as well. But as I did currently say, his performances have been really, really poor. Jesse Lingard's performances have been really, really poor as well when he's been playing. He knows about the club. He's 27 years of age. He progressed up the Manchester United ranks and everything, and his performances have been way below par, at least in the last couple of months. But I still think they are the long-term solution, Rashford, Lingard and Martial, but they are the short-term problem at the moment, based on their run of poor performances as well. So the majority of this Manchester United squad, do need a reality check, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was talking about, before the Everton game, saying that they do need a reality check, of course, as well. But as I did currently say, the most essential thing is, the club have got to get a director of football to come in as well. As I did say at the beginning of the video, there has been talk, a few candidate names mentioned. We need someone to come in, who understands about the club and all that. And, recent reports have said, as I did say, Ferdinand's been in talks with Ed Woodward over the possibility of becoming our first sporting director. Ferdinand knows about the club, I know he's a pundit now on BT and all that, but Ferdinand, as a player, served 12 years at Manchester United, won 14 trophies and all that. I think made about 4 score, 155 appearances, as I said. But yeah, there's been talks about that going on in the media. I've heard about Paul Scholes as well, saying that he could possibly, return to Manchester United as well. Paul Scholes, he was a great player back in the day. Was a great partnership with Michael Carrick in our midfield, Paul Scholes. And he actually, he recently managed Oldham, didn't he? I think he only had a short tenure with Oldham. I think he only managed them for about a month, was it, or something like that. But he resigned as Oldham manager. Something to do with a disagreement, something like that. I don't know the full story, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, there has been quite a few names mentioned as well. We do know Edwin van der Sar's also been mentioned. So yeah, we need to sort this out before the start of next season. We've got to get a director of football to come in. And as I did say, Solskjaer's going to need backing this summer as well. But as I did currently say, Solskjaer hasn't got the experience. He hasn't got a great managerial pedigree. In terms of a player, he's got it. He was a great player with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer under Ferguson, for 11 years and all that. And he was a great player. And he won trophies and scored a lot of goals. But, has he got the capabilities, to take Manchester United forward? And, my preferences will if it, so say next season, if it starts off really bad, that's when my preferences will change on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Then I'll start, saying I want him out of the club and all that as well. But just got to give him a bit more time at the moment. Give him time to spend money as well, so we can see what happens in the summer. So anyway, guys, drop your comments below on the channel if you do consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very soon.